man, do Barca struggle against teams with tight spaces, bro. Like against the weekend when they played
Las Palmas.
Las Palmas, bro. And the thing about it is that and I told you this. If Barca struggle against teams like that, like Las Palmas or any team in La Liga that have tight spaces and like to counterattack, they're gonna struggle against a team like Inter.
Even Atletico de Madrid.
Or Atletico Madrid, bro. So I'm kind of in a Copa del Rey. I'm kind of glad that Barca don't have to face Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. I am kind of glad about that.
Even Inter.
And Inter, if they face Inter, I think they'll face them in the same ice, I think.
Yeah.
But man, against Las Palmas, bro, I was kind of nervous. I was like, man, this is gonna be another game
Osasuna, another drop points,
it's like,
and all that.
And then we were watching the game, we were just like, man.
Yeah, dude. You know what? For a minute, I thought that Barcelona were possibly gonna tell you. I text you. I said these are the games that Barcelona tend to lose or drop points in because, I was looking at Las Palmas, right? And like I said, we can go ahead and talk about the 2-0. Yeah, of course, it matters. People are gonna be like, well, they won, dude. What the hell? Yeah, of course. I'm not saying that doesn't matter. I'm happy that they won,
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, like, if you break down the game, you will see, and if you were able to see the game, I think you can notice Barcelona really struggling against tight
blocks
games,
against teams that put a tight block defense and they just want to park the bus.
And you know what? And I was sitting there and I was watching the game and I was like, man, why is Barcelona struggling again? And then I think Mario Kempes, right? He made a great point. I said, you know what? That's so true. He said, Barcelona are very dangerous when they have gaps open.
When there's like an open game.
Yeah, but when there's tight spaces, Barcelona tend to struggle. And I think the reason why is because, look, Lamine Yamal is the type of player that can break tight spaces, right? Alongside Pedri, right?
Yes,
I would say Olmo as well, of course.
Yeah,
Olmo didn't start. I think that's the reason why Fermin kind of struggled because Fermin is more like a dirty type player. Where
he needs spaces too.
Yeah,
he needs spaces because he does a lot of running. Kind of like Gavi too. Gavi needs spaces too, to be honest.
Rafinha can give you that. Lewandowski, bro. The thing about Lewandowski is a lot. He's very good in the box, but the thing about it is Lewandowski, you can't play with that type of number 9. Not only is he not that you know what, you are able to play with him back when he was at Dortmund, back when he was at Bayern. But right now at Barcelona, he doesn't have the legs, but he's 37 years old.
Yeah, he doesn't have the legs anymore. You can see it, bro.
Like he slows the attack tremendously.
He slows Barca's attack a lot. And yes, he can still score the goals because he's the one still scoring the goals for Barca.
The technique is always gonna
because his technique is always gonna be there, just like Messi's technique, bro. Yeah. Just like even CR7's technique.
Just like Suarez, bro. You look at Suarez like trying to run for his life, but as soon as he gets the ball, he knows where he can play.
Yeah, they know what to do with the ball, bro. They have that technique in their foot that nobody's gonna take away from them, and that they also have that IQ, that football IQ. The problem is their reactions are much slower. Their pace, they've lost that pace, they've lost that speed, and we can see it with Lewandowski. And this game, against Las Palmas, and many other games, so we said, man, Lewandowski, when Rafinha and when Lamine Yamal or even when Pedri are trying to combine with him, like in the final third, it's he's kind of slow. And yeah, there's some games where you're like, oh, that was a good one. Like for example, on top of my head, I can remember the one against Real Madrid in the Super Copa, right? Mm-hmm. When he gave that pass to Lamine Yamal.
Oh, yeah.
So he can still give you those. But I personally don't believe that Lewandowski should be starting anymore as Barca's number 9.
So
that's my opinion.
It's funny, bro, because in one of the earlier episodes, I remember me and you were bashing Ferran, bro. Because, we saw Ferran for a long time. But look, and our thought, well, at least my thought is still there, right? When it comes to finishing, Ferran is not it, right? But I will say that this weekend on Saturday, when they play against Las Palmas, I sat there and I said, yo, bro, I think we need Ferran to come in.
First time ever, huh?
I didn't think I was going to say that, but you know what,
I was thinking that too, to be honest.
Because the reason why it's not that Ferran is like so good, nothing like that. But look, he scored. Whatever, credit to him, he scored. We used to kind of not like Rafinha back then as well.
Yeah,
we give Rafinha a lot of credit because he changed his way of playing.
Yeah, he stepped up a lot.
And he stepped up a lot. And Ferran Torres, whatever, look, we can say this. The thing about Ferran Torres is that he comes in, he scores a goal, and then he allows us to see how quicker Barcelona can move on the ball without Lewandowski being
with a mobile striker.
Yeah,
so that
bro.
that's
why we need a new number 9.
So that's why I think Barca need a number 9 that's more mobile. That moves around, because Lewandowski, to me, he's that kind of, right now, the way I was watching him in the weekend, he's a number 9 that wants the ball on his foot.
Yeah.
And he wants it
I agree with you.
He wants it in a position where he can just tap it in and score it. like kind of like a poacher, right? To touch base a little bit on Ferran, the thing about Ferran is that I agree with you, and I think that Ferran is a substitute player.
Yeah, substitute player.
I think there's a lot of players that are good substitute players, but they're not good starters. And I believe Ferran Torres is one of them, along with, I've told you this, Fermin.
Yeah.
I think Fermin is more of a substitute player than a starter right now. He can change because Fermin is still young.
Yeah, and I think that it also depends on the type of games that
Yeah,
they're playing, right?
I agree.
Like, what about Olmo? Because
Olmo is a false nine, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's because, see, that's the thing, that Barca, in my opinion, that's what they need. And I think in a summer transfer window, bro, Barca need to go ahead and focus on getting a mobile number 9. And we talked about our dream, man, but you know what, bro? It was obtainable though at that time.
Yeah, it was.
When we talked about it, it was like, why doesn't Barca go for Julian Alvarez?
We wanted Julian Alvarez.
We talked about this. Julian Alvarez will fit so well at Barca because he will give us glimpse of a David Villa.
Yeah.
Where he can play as a number 9 in the box, but he can also move in all positions of the field.
Yeah.
He can go to the left. He can go to the right. He can play in the winger. He can go ahead and play in the box. He's mobile. He's hungry, of course, because he's young, right? He got trained on the Guardiola. What else does Barca need, bro?
Yeah.
What else did Barca need? But then, and I get it, he was expensive because Atletico Madrid they paid 90 million for him. Yeah, he was expensive, but then again, you're spending what? 55 million for Ferran Torres. They spent how much for the Olmo?
65, I think it came
65 million for Olmo. So in my opinion, 90 million for Julian Alvarez is not bad, bro.
And if you really think about it, and me and you have said this, that if you look at the game of today's modern football, bro, there are really not a lot of players, professional, world-class, elite players that want to play the number 9 position. Or they do,
yeah,
but are not as good. And
not many options.
And kind of to feed your point about Julian Alvarez was obtainable because, yeah, Atletico Madrid bought him for 90 million. But I don't know if you heard, right? Supposedly, I don't know why, but Barcelona want to go for Isaac, right? I don't know if you heard, but during the weekend, Newcastle slapped the 200 million price tag on him.
For Isaac, bro?
For Isaac, bro.
Do you know where he came from?
He came from La Liga, right?
Do you know what team?
No, I don't.
Real Sociedad, bro.
Real Sociedad.
Imagine Barca, bro, spending 200 million for Isaac, bro, for a player like that, where they could have gotten him for how much from Real Sociedad, bro? Think about that. And where the hell are Barca's freaking scouts, bro? Like, seriously, sometimes I'm like, man, like...
And going back to it real quick, right? Julian Alvarez was obtainable, bro. 90 million, right? He is able to play as a striker. He benched Lautaro Martinez in the World Cup.
Okay.
He got trained by Guardiola, right? He is this type of hungry, light player that can give you a quick 1-2. Mm-hmm. He can shoot from the box. He has a great weak left.
Free kicks too.
Free kicks to everything. And he's fast. He's always pressing. The way Fleek wants the team to play right now, you can see by always pressing. Mm-hmm. He gives you that. And, then you sit there and wonder, like, whoa, why didn't you guys go for him?
That's what I'm saying, bro. He was.
Because I really liked Julian Alvarez.
Doesn't he remind you of David Villa, bro?
He reminds me of a mixture of David Villa and a mixture of not as much of as a killer, but just like the cheeky kind of like Luis Suarez, bro.
The cheekiness.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of a cheeky young, maybe David Villa and Suarez put together. But point is, I think, and Barcelona have always benefited from strikers like that, bro.
Yeah,
historically, if you always look at Barcelona's number 9, they have always been type of players that are able, mobile and are able to connect very well with the wingers or the middle.
Yeah, it's like to me, like the idea number 9 would be like for Barca that have been successful at Barca, like Eto'o. What was Eto'o?
Yeah.
Eto'o was a killer in the box, right? He was able to connect 1-2s. He had pace. He had speed. He had headers. Right, he also had free kicks too. And he was able to move all over the freaking final third. He was able to go to the left. He was able to go to the right. He was able to be in the middle.
Historically, let's look at just a quick kind of the ones that kind of come to your mind, right? Number 9 for Barcelona, right? The obvious ones would be the current one, Suarez, right? Mm. And then you have Messi as a false number 9. You had Eto'o before that, right? And then I don't know obviously who came before Eto'o, but I can also name you Romario that played for Barcelona.
Romario was another one.
And then Stoichkov, he played for number 9.
That was another one that was able to go ahead and go in all positions of the final third as a forward.
Yeah, and then you can kind of go for El Fenomeno because he had his tenure at Barcelona. He ended before Maradona. Ronaldo, like I said, phenomenal R9, So historically has always been players that have always been able to kind of connect with the wingers, with the middles, create plays, 1-2s, shoot, deadly strikers, move fast. You know,
Stoichkos was like you said. Stoichkos is one that really comes into mind.
Yeah, bro. And then you look at players like, for example,
Ibrahimovic who
Lewandowski.
didn't make it at Barca. Why didn't he?
Because he couldn't pressure.
Because Barca
it was not his playing style.
Yeah, Barca historically forwards that have the profile of Ibrahimovic or Lewandowski, they don't tend to succeed as a striker at Barca.
Yeah.
Because Barca tend to succeed more with mobile strikers. You know, that's why we would always say that Julian Alvarez would have fit perfect at Barca, bro. But do you want to bet that Barca gonna go for Julian Alvarez, bro?
It wouldn't.
You want to bet that they're gonna try to go for him, bro, and they're gonna spend 120, 140 for him?
Because Atletico de Madrid is a very good salesman, bro.
When they could have literally just gotten Julian Alvarez, bro, off of City last season for 90 million, bro. Yeah.